And for his mercies endureth forever. Hello, brethren in the Lord. My name is Seun Akinshoun from HeritageTV on a platform called About My Calling. About my calling. About my calling. Are you a minister of God? Are you a prophet or prophetess? Are you an evangelist? Are you pastor? Or do you have any gifts or talents that you are using to increase the kingdom of God? This is a platform where you are welcome to come and share your experience, your challenges, your testimony, your purpose, and the way of your journey to other people that are facing trials and tribulation in the journey of their calling. You are welcome to this platform to share whatever you think that people will benefit from. And I pray God will bless you in the mighty name of Jesus. The number you can call us on to is 020-800-46-100 or 07944-278530. Today I have a wonderful minister of God here. He's here to share his experience, his challenges, his testimony, his mission, and also his purpose and the way of his journey of his calling. He's here to share it with us. Can I please encourage you to share this program on your platform in order to bless you, in order to increase the kingdom of God Almighty? Please share on your page, and it shall be well with you as you are sharing. Today I welcome my brother here. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you.
God bless you. Can you please introduce yourself to our viewers?
My name is Emmanuel Somuyiwa. I live in Essex. I'm 32 years old. This is me. So basically about my calling, I want to thank God first for the opportunity to be given on this platform. I don't think I've done this before. No, I have not. And I just thank God for his mercies and for the opportunity. And I would never think that I would be called to do something like this, because I'm a normally behind the scenes guy. But we thank God.
Hallelujah. Okay, can you tell me the journey of your Christian life? How did you accept Christ Jesus as your Lord and Savior? And how did you find yourself doing what you're doing for God? And what is your calling?
Okay, my journey started obviously when I was born. So apparently my parents, they were married in Italy. They moved from Nigeria. They moved to Italy in the 80s. Okay. And in 1981, my mom was pregnant, and there was a man of God that spoke to her and said that you're going to give birth to a son, and that you should call him Emmanuel. That he's going to be very, bush.
What do you mean by
that? They said he'll be very Nigerian.
Oh, okay.
Because at the point in time she was pregnant, so she was thinking, is the child that she is going to have now. Oh, okay. That would be, and not knowing that was the name. It was my sister that first came.
Oh, okay.
So apparently for a couple of months my sister wore loads of blue clothes. But to the glory of God, 5 years later, they gave birth to me, March 27, 1987. And during that time, few prophecies were said to my parents regarding my journey in life. And obviously, as I was growing up, I've managed to find out some of them. But apparently from the age of,
you were told about those prophecies?
Yes.
Okay.
But my parents told me apparently from the age of 2 or 3, I used to wake up in the middle of the night, was it 12 o'clock or 3 o'clock? I would come to their room and tell them, let's pray. Okay. It was that exact time, and it was a consistent thing. And from there was that, they saw that there was that urge for serving God, but obviously because I was a young child, therefore I just put it to the side. And I started playing drums at church when I was 4 years old. Okay. I used to play the congas from that time, and also the drum set. But one of the things that I remembered vividly, I was sitting down. By the way, I never got the opportunity to go to Sunday school because I was always in the church, so I don't know how Sunday school feels.
Okay.
But I thank God for that because I was able to understand what we do in our services, why we do it, how we do it, when it came about, and as I was growing up.
Okay.
But also at that age of 4, I remember my church leader, which is my uncle, may so rest in peace, and Special Apostle Prophet Moses Ayeniwan. I sat down in the chair. I remember that day, and they gave me a cross. They said I should come and carry the cross. First, I look at the cross like that.
How old are you then?
I was 4.
Wow.
So
4 years old.
I was 4 years old, and this was a white wooden cross that they gave to us from Surulere in Nigeria, Ayoni.
Okay.
Because our church is affiliated with that.
Okay.
So on that, it was a Sunday service. I remember them handing the cross over to me. They said I should carry the cross, and no problem. I thought I used to pay attention to the service anyway. So we did the procession, and from that Sunday, I began to carry the cross during the church service, not knowing that all of these things that I started from a young age will actually come to use later on in life. Also, I started knowing how to burn incense.
Okay.
I was looking at the wardens that were at the church, so I used to pay attention quite a lot to them. And at the age of 7, I led the service for the first time, and it was a children's anniversary.
Okay.
And normally we do a Saturday service in Italy instead of Friday because of the work shift in Italy.
Okay.
So I had to lead the service on Saturday and Sunday, and I knew my Psalm 24 from the age of 4 as well.
Wow.
But the way I knew it was in Yoruba.
Okay.
And my Yoruba was very, very terrible. It was very, very terrible. So, because normally when we do a night video service, we read Psalm 24 3 times before proceeding, and on the 3rd time, everybody repeats after you.
Okay.
So, as I was saying it, the Yoruba was funny, but people were understanding what I was saying.
Even God understands.
And it was very funny because sometimes I would just look back and my parents would tell me how I used to say, it's okay, and no, you say, but we thank God. And like I said, at the age of 7, I led the children's anniversary in my church in Italy. And I just want to thank God for giving me the privilege to be born in Italy and to come from that church. Because I believe everything I am today came from there. The prophetic aspect, the musical aspect, everything came from there. Because that church, by the way, is called Careness Love Divine Italy. Because that's my foundation. I learned the music, I learned why we do certain things in the CNS fold, and I just bless God for that place.
Hallelujah.
And eventually in 1996, we moved to the UK.
Okay.
And we started attending a church called Mount of Peace.
Okay.
The leader of the church is called Special Apostle Famorio, may so rest in peace as well. He used to be the leader of the first Ionic church in London that was in Streatham before the church went down. So we started going to the church, and I kind of gathered that the way they used to do things there were a bit different to how in Italy. So when I got home, I asked my dad, I said, these people don't have no altar lights. They don't carry cross. They don't do incense. They don't wear the leader of service clothes. Okay. What's going on? And they said apparently I went to meet the Baba. They don't do things like this. Where you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. Not knowing that Alagba Rio actually was listening to what I said.
Okay.
The week after, Baba came with the stuff.
Wow. So he took it to
He took it. Baba came with the candle stand. Not know all this stuff was in their house, but I don't know why they didn't use it. The candle stand came. They started doing the procession, started doing the incense. They went to sew the leader of service clothes. And you know, okay.
So you make a change in a way.
Yeah. And I was shocked because I didn't feel of anything at that time because I was only 9 years old. So I was saying what I felt and how I saw things because of the background that I came. Then I started, I played drums at the church. And obviously, staying in the UK, coming from Italy, it was very challenging. It was very different because first thing, I didn't understand English too great. Well, I didn't understand UK English. I understood Nigerian English, which is a bit different. And it's when I got to school was the first time that I saw Chinese people. I saw Asian people, and I saw fellow black children in my class. Because in Italy, I was the only black child for years.
Wow.
So when I got to the class and I saw these different people, like, it felt very awkward. Very, very awkward. So I found it a bit hard to adapt, apart from the language and also the food, to relate to them, but also the food was very, very strange. I didn't eat for a couple of months at the school because I remember the first day they gave gravy and ham, and I said, what's this? That I don't eat this. I've never seen this before. Then they gave custard and cake. I was like, God Almighty, what's this? And I just looked at this, so I just kept eating crisps. And eventually, one of the teachers realized that this guy never eats. Then I think they got in contact with my mom, saying, this one is not eating the food. And I said, look, me, I don't understand the food, and I don't want to eat. But eventually we integrated into the British food. When hunger catches you, you just have to eat.
You have to blend.
You know? Eventually, you know, started blending into the UK system, which was quite difficult. But I managed to adapt myself to it. Then I started secondary school. When I started secondary school, it was a bit different as well. It was a bit different because obviously the school was from year 7 to year 11, and I've never been in an environment that you have people that are so much bigger than you and you're in the same school and you're just like one little guy like this. And also thank God for the experiences that I had in that school, because that's the school that gave me the opportunity to learn how to play the bass guitar. Because first my parents enrolled me just to play guitar, actually guitar. And I started playing it, but I didn't like it. And I don't know, for some strange reason, the teacher picked up that maybe I can play bass guitar. And there was no bass guitar in the school. And all of a sudden, the teacher, they went to buy the bass guitar. And I became the first bass guitarist in the school. And from there, I used to practice during lunchtime. And at church, I didn't even play the guitar because we had no bass. I was just strictly on drums, and my sister used to play keyboard. Eventually, I just started playing, and I don't know, all of a sudden, maybe one day, I just think.
So how do you develop those skills? Playing drums, playing guitar. I understand that at school you are taught how to play guitar, but how did you understand playing the drums? Did anybody taught you how to play it?
Nobody told me how to play the drums. In all honesty, is one of the gifts that God gave me. There was an African cultural group in Italy that I was part of, also from age of 4 or 5, that they used to be on national television. It used to be called Odikambamba. It's like Igbo cultural different things. And I used to play the conga. Yes. And it was so funny because the Onyibo people used to actually zoom in on me because I was the smallest child playing. I was like 4 or 5, 6, because they used to do concerts consistently. And it was a thing that I'll just be able to hear something and I'll just be able to imitate what was done. And eventually, my parents bought me congas in the house.
Okay.
So I just used to play that. I would play along to music and just be playing, just be playing, just be playing. And obviously the church aspect also helped because whenever we go to church, I would get to play.
Okay.
And one thing that really helped my music career is when we moved to London, is the church that I mentioned, Mount of Peace.
Okay.
I had the avenue to actually improve because there was after let me jump a couple of years. There was an uncle that came. He's now in Ireland. He's the choir master. His name is Otolori. So he came in. He was a trumpeter, and as well that time I've never seen trumpet before.
Wow.
And he came from Nigeria, and I remember him coming to church. And the first day he came, I just felt different in my system when he was playing. I started feeling a bit cold, and I didn't understand what it was. I just had a bit of goosebumps, but I knew that this is a good feeling, and what this guy is playing is making sense. Not knowing that he was going to be like a tutor for me. Then, after a couple of years, no, every harvest, our pastor will invite some musicians to come and play. By the way, I'm sure some of us know Uncle Shego Gedengbe.
Okay.
He's my blood cousin. Not knowing, because he used to play for Fela Kuti, one of the first saxophonists. He used to come around those times as well and play with us during the harvest. And I used to be so excited because the music that would come out on that day, because obviously it was once a year, it was once a year, but it was so great. I was like, Lord, if I wish I can play like this instrument like these uncles. But one thing that I do thank God for is that there was never a time that they sent me off the drums. And I was shocked. Because even going back to look at some of the videos, it wasn't that I was that great, but it was good enough to hold. And like I said, there are so many people that God has brought into my life that has made an impact into my music life. There's another uncle of mine that is currently at New Covenant. His name is Michael Sejuro Phillips, and he had the biggest impact in my music. He's the person that forced me to play keyboard, that I'm glad for till today. He's the one that introduced me to different styles of music. I remember in church those days, he would send me a CD of calypso music, reggae music, Afro music, salsa music, and I used to listen to a lot of it, and I'll be at home just practicing on the keyboard or the drums or the bass, which had a lot of impact in my music vocabulary. That gave me the opportunity to be very, very versatile at a very young age. Because nowadays, one of the problems that we have in the African music industry is that you have all these young kids that can only play to African music.
That's right.
Which is a problem, which kind of restricts to how far they can go. But for myself, for myself, it wasn't like that. African music was the last thing that I was introduced to. I didn't start learning to play with a talking drum until I was 15. So I found it very strange, because back in my days, there was no alujo. There was nothing as alujo. So it's just eventually that it came in, and I was like, what's this? This go-go dominating everything. And he was one of the people that also taught me that, Uncle Mike.
Wow.
And like I said, wherever I am.
So you can play talking drum?
Yes, I can play talking drum too.
Nice.
Yeah. Some of my recordings, apart from my little brother that I use, Moses Olukayode, some of the stuff I play by myself.
By yourself. Wow.
Mainly I record myself, sekere, congas, all this percussion. I record them myself. It makes my life easier, and it saves me money.
That's right.
But obviously, all of this was possible because of the type of church that I came from. I'm not saying all different churches are not good, but
it really helped your career.
It really helped. Because, for example, in our white government churches, if you have weekly services, and most of the time you don't really have nobody to play.
That's
so,
right.
Which child is around? Just go. Play ta-ta-ta. Eventually, that ta-ta-ta will turn into something good. Exactly. So, I just thank God for where He placed me. Because He really made a big difference in my life. Because also, I managed to learn the saxophone by myself. There was this uncle, same uncle, Michael Sejuro. He was teaching one of my friends back. This I think was that 2000. I think I was 15 or 14. He was teaching one of my young friends how to play the saxophone, and I was just looking at it, and I was like, "This thing is not so complicated, though." And the church had the saxophone, so I just took the saxophone home.
Wow.
So that week, I just sat down with the saxophone. So I managed to learn. I managed to work out, okay, how to play the saxophone.
Wow.
Which, to the glory of God, nobody taught me. I'll just guess and try and error that week.
And you got it.
I got it.
Wow.
You know, and it's a thing that if I wasn't in that type of church, I don't think I would have been given the opportunity. Exactly. That, and that's what I always say. I'm always so grateful from where God has taken me from. And like I say, I go to a white garment church, it's a cherubim and seraphim church, where God exists.
Hallelujah.
And where the word of God is truth. And I might deviate a bit. I know some of us have so many different perspectives about the white garment church, but I'll be honest with you, I mix around with a lot of churches. We all believe in one God.
Oh, yes.
We all read the same Bible. The only difference is that our modes of worship might be different, but our goals are still the same, which is to worship God. And hence that's why I don't really buy the idea of people saying this church is good, that church is good. First thing, we need to understand that go where you are happy with, but at the same time, you need to understand that you need to go to a church where God has actually placed you. There are so many people that are in the wrong church, and that's why their journey of life is going wayward. If God has placed you in a Catholic church, but you want to go to a white garment church, you're on your own. Because the path of God is this way, and your own path is that way. So, and they're completely different things. But may God help us.
Amen.
Going back to my music life, I started doing concerts as well back from the age of 4 or 5. I used to play with Four Corners. They're a very well known band. Okay. They used to do Festival of Life years ago. We also had the opportunity to play with Mayak Aremu through them years ago. I played Token Dome that time for him at a church in Twittenbeck, one of the Redeemed churches. Also had the opportunity to play at some Redeemed events, on some Redeemed churches over the last couple of years. RCCG, Power of Jehovah, Victory House over in Old Kent Road, and so many
churches like
different churches like that I don't even remember. I also want to thank God for giving me the opportunity to attend CNS Ione New Covenant, my home church, where I picked up a lot. I remember the first time I went to the church in 2003. I sat in the congregation. I went with my sister. There was a youth service, and those days I was still doing guy. And I had my earrings and everything, so I just sat in the congregation, just looking like this. And somebody invited me, I beg guy, if you come play drums. And at first, I didn't like what they were singing. I was like, hey, what do you want me to play? I went, sat down and played the drums. And when they finished the service, I took my bags and left. But before we left, the choir master, his name is Pastor Benga Jiwale. I call him Pastor G. He's a brother of mine. He's a pastor. He's somebody that I really look up to as well, because he used to live the street life. And he's a person that's turned to God, that is a church pastor that's actually impacting people in this generation. Hallelujah. He took my number and he said that they're having an event on the Wednesday. Would I be possible? Would I be available to come to play? Okay.
You're still doing guy.
I'm still doing guy, and I'm okay. Me, I don't like all this white government churches, how they play their music. Me, I don't like all this bush music. Anyway, I went. I went on the Wednesday, and when I got there, because my church that I came from, Mount of Peace, we had no youth there. Okay. So the minute I walked into New Covenant, I see so many youth.
Oh my God.
And I forget, Jesus Christ. So there's a church that has this many youth, boys, girls, of my age group as well. And I thought, you know what? I need to call my friends. So there was my friends that live down the road. By the name is Emmanuel Fagbore and Gabriel Fagbore. They go to Ifeoluwa movement number 5. We've known each other since 1996.
Okay.
So I went to their house in Stamfordale because the church at the New Covenant was at Eid Road at that time. So I said, guy, I don't find church.
Wow.
Babe, they there. Young people, they there. And good instruments, they there. And they were like, okay, let's go. Because they're also musicians as well.
Okay.
So we got to the church and I introduced, I said, these are my guys. He plays bass, he plays drums and keyboard. I play drums, keyboard, bass, whichever one. So we started going there. And and they were having, New Covenant has their annual concert.
Yes.
Choir night. And I forgot who asked us. There was a guitarist that just came from Nigeria at that time. His name is Dele.
Okay.
Ogun something, I forgot. Ogudeko. And he's one of the people that really had a big impact in my life as well, but we'll get to that later.
Okay.
And he asked me,
wow, I'm enjoying this.
He was like, send me back the choir night. I think the church member more big go and say, and the thing that just got all of us is that there's a church that is this big and it has so much use. We're like, so it's still possible. So we got there, we started playing with them. The choir night, the practices was one of the things that really engaged us because for a whole month we would have practice and we used to go to church every day, 7 to 10, 7 to 11. And it's the thing that really made a big impact in our life, in my life, basically. Because I've always been a person, I like to go to church. If they say go to work and church and don't get paid, I will go to church. I don't care. Work, God will sort it out one way or the other. And and I was given the opportunity to kind of like express what all these uncles have put in me. So eventually, like I said, there was Uncle Delo Gundeko that they brought from Aguda, Surulere branch in Nigeria, and he's such a good guitarist. At that time, I never met somebody so good on the bass and on the guitar. He's one of the people that had a major influence on my bass playing because a lot of things that I play today, I picked up from him. He taught me a lot because even when I started going to New Covenant, I knew how to play keyboard and everything, but I didn't know notes. A single note like this. People didn't know I didn't know notes. Because if you just say la 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 la, I'll play. So the minute they found that this guy don't know notes, he was like, more notes. I don't know it. No.
Wow.
In a space of 1 week, he taught me.
Wow.
Do me fasolati do this is sharp notes, flat notes, this is. So what I learned in a space of what I was meant to learn in years, in a space of couple of months, the guy taught me.
Wow.
He taught me. It was very difficult because I'm not gonna lie, there were times that he would abuse me. And I just swallowed it. Nigeria culture, when somebody's older than
you can't talk.
You can't
reply.
I was like, so money. And I was like, Jesus Christ, something you want to boy, I just want to punch this uncle. Okay. Let's go on. So much that I picked up from him, and that eventually, not knowing that he will move on to another place, not knowing that everything that he was doing that time, it was also for my benefit. But even before going towards that, like I spoke to you earlier on, we had a youth choir in New Covenant. It was called Living for Christ. So we used to have our services at 9 o'clock till 10:30 on every Sunday, which was a youth service. And obviously we used to have rehearsals during the week. And during that time, the choir grew, we became better, and we began to be called for ministration at different churches. There was a church that called us, like I said, this RCCG Royal Connections, I'll not forget, and we were invited to come and minister. I'm not trying to put anybody down, but I just like to shed some light, and we should kind of be reflective about what we do
doing.
and the consequences.
That's right.
We were called to minister at the church, and obviously we are a Kerubu church, and our choir uniform is our choir uniform, our uni-purple, that's what we call it. So we go to the place and we wore our Ashwadura, our uniform, our church gown, and we were about to go downstairs, and our choir master at the time, which is Benga Jola, youth choir master, he said that they said no. Well, like, what do you mean? They said no to us. Said, we can't come on stage, we were a gang. And we're like, everybody was younger at that time. And everyone was like, no way, we will beat these guys today. And I'm like, no. And funny enough, that day, there's a pastor called Chief. We call him Chief. He's pastor, okay? Very well known in the UK. He was there as well. He used to be part of us as well, but he moved on to another denomination. He was very shocked with what happened that day, because we were a bunch of teenagers, you know, just wanting to worship God. And we were being thrown out because
Just
of
like
what we're wearing.
Wow.
You know, and the Bible talks about nobody should judge anybody.
That's right.
Because the Bible talks about when they were looking for, when they called Samuel to go and look for the king, Samuel was looking for a specific person to look a certain way. Then the Bible makes us understand that you are the one that looks at face. I'm the one that look at the heart. So it's a thing for everybody that's a minister and for everybody that is a Christian. And there's a lot of this that goes on in our generation. Do not judge people by their look. You know, I understand that is a way of life, but as Christians, I don't think we should be going down that route, you know. Even if you have preservation about somebody, fair enough, but, you know, get to know somebody first before putting a final judgment to it, you know. And like I said, we were stereotyped because obviously the white garment church hasn't got a good reputation.
That's right.
But it's our fault, but at the same time, it's not our fault.
That's right. Because
you know, and that happened, and we moved on from it. We were very sad, we were very angry, but we moved on. Couple of months after, we were invited by Glory House in Canning Town, Pastor Dulele's church, to come and minister at an event.
And you went on your
We went with our gown.
Wow.
We went with a gown.
You are allowed.
We ministered. They didn't send us back. They clapped for us. And I think they were even shocked that we came with our gown. Because we're not promoting CNS, but this is who we are. That's the church that we come from.
To.
You know? And we just thank God for those privileges.
Hallelujah. 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 Let me speak to our viewers in a minute. Probably you are just joining us. I have Prophet Emmanuel Somuyiwa on set with me. He's here sharing his experience, the journey of his calling, how he started, especially being the instrumentalist. He's here sharing it with us. I would like to implore you to please share this program on your platform, because his testimony today, it will change the kingdom of God Almighty. I'm enjoying and I'm being blessed with what he's saying already. So I want you to please share this program on your platform, and it shall be well with you in the mighty name of Jesus. Probably you are a minister of God, or you have any gift or talent that you are using to increase the God kingdom. You are free to join us on this platform. The number you can call us on to is 020-800-46100 or 07944278530. Thank you, and stay tuned. Back to you, sir. Now, you haven't told me what exactly is your calling. How did you receive your calling? And how did you identify, okay, you know, you have so many talents in you. Yeah. You can play drums, talking drums, sass, and then organs and so on like that. Yeah. How did you identify, okay, this particular thing is my calling? You understand? I want you to share this with our viewers.
I'll be very honest with you. For a long time, I thought my calling was just to play instruments. Before God, I'm advocate till I die. I'm going to sit in the choir. And even now, I find it hard not to be in the choir. The prophetic line realization I had the clue when I was 18, 19. Okay, sometimes that thing will just be shooking you small, but okay, what's this job? Get away. Then eventually, I think I was, how old was I? I think I was 18 or 19.
Okay.
And there used to be this uncle. His name is Leye Veracruz. He's one of my mentors as well. And I just used to like the way this guy sings. When he speaks in tongues like this, when he sings, I'm like, God. Just used to enter my system like this. And I remember praying to God, okay, God, oh, that gift, that's all I want to.
Wow.
I only want that gift. That gift. This was back
That's how you have already.
yeah, so but that thing, the way they were speaking in tongues in the higher way, okay, long is sweet. I remember in 2005 praying for it, and I spoke to some of these pastors, elders, ministers of God, prophets. How do you get this thing? Oh? They say you don't get it. If God gives you, He gives you. If He doesn't give you, He doesn't give you. I thought, well, you know what, me, I don't believe this. And that time I was in college. I was in college, 17, 18 exactly. And I remember in January, I started praying about it.
Really?
It was me and my cousin that used to live with me, David Ayeniwa. So there used to be these 7 specific passages that I used to read. I used to read Isaiah 60, 61, 62, Psalm 24, Psalm 19, Psalm 23, Revelation 10, Revelation 4. Okay. And every day, I will read of every day without doubt. God sees me.
Wow.
Every day I will read that. Regardless of what time I used to get home, I will force him as well. Oh, Benny, wake up, we have to read this thing. I will read it. Not knowing that God eventually was going to hearken to the prayer. Because I just used to see this uncle all the time.
It's like magic.
Yeah, the mean stuff I didn't care because I didn't like them. I said, okay, why people just doing like this, just messing yourself? Okay, put that one. But because the higher had the music aspect, and I want this one. I remember the way I received my tongues was in a dream. In the dream, I was going through a battle.
Okay.
And it got to a stage that I couldn't speak no more. And in the dream, I was thinking, what can I do? And all of a sudden, I just started speaking in tongues. I started singing in tongues. And as I was singing in tongues, I was being victorious. And I woke up. June 2005. I cannot forget. And eventually I thought, maybe this is just a dream. And I don't know what pushed me that day. I phoned one of my uncles. His name is Kunle Ajayi. He goes to Fountain of Peace. I told him, this is the dream that I had. That I was speaking your language. And he was like, Odigba. He had received. I said, Odigba kini. Odigba de no ni. I was like, Odigba. Oh yeah, so okay, sing so kini. As you say. And I used to think, you can only speak in tongues when you're in spirit. And it was like, oh boy, forget that one. Once you have it, you have it. And it was like, so he started shouting. I said, come on, son, speak. And I spoke, and we started interacting. Then he started laughing. He's like, Oziri, Otigba.
You are amazed.
I was very shocked. Because I was like, don't you have to start shaking first or be doing all these things? But because my process was the way around. And I'm like, okay, no problem. For a long time,
You are not confused.
Yeah, because even because our church, in our church is like, no man speak in tongues when they're in spirit. So you used to think that I just used to be on the keyboard, and at times I would just feel certain things, or you just get into the system that something is different in you. And at that point in time, we used to pray because our new covenant, we were given our own building. So the youth used to do service by themselves. And at that time, there was no elemi in the youth. It was only myself and Seun as well. Seun Mustafa, Mr. Ologo. He never used to shake as well. So me and him was just a day. But I never used to speak often. He was more on the side because he was singing. And I remember, I think it was 2005 or 2000. I think 2005 December. We were having end of year revival at church, and all of a sudden we were just doing normal service. So I want you to know one bit because now I'm a youth. Me say, I say, yeah, what's going on?
Oh my God.
Evelyn Lucas, I cannot forget the first one. The day after, it was a 3 days revival. It was we were just doing normal worship. Another girl, Finn. I like it. Oh Lord, what's going on? Okay, oh girl. And that Friday was 31st.
Okay.
Mind you, before that time, none of us ever spoke in tongues at church. Even Seun Mustafa didn't. But I believe something went into him that day that we were doing 31st service because he was known for singing Oriaria. All of a sudden he started singing, and the next thing you just hear him speaking in tongues. That's how you just see everybody's head turning. Where is that coming from? And all of the youth, all of a sudden, I want to just they just received the manifestation. And even all the elders were shocked because it was the first generation of young people receiving the gift of the Spirit, manifesting like that. And even us were looking, Jesus, what's going on? Okay, LA Martin rough there. But mind you, that month as well, we were at home, me and my cousin. And from the time I got the speaking of tongues, I used to speak a lot in the house. So all of this was myself, my sister, and my cousin were in the living room. And I started to speak in tongues. I started singing in tongues. My cousin was like, stop, wait. He's feeling funny. I mean, okay, make I ginger you. I kept on speaking. All of a sudden, the guys started shaking.
Wow.
And I was like, hey, what's this? So, I mean, I just kept going. He started shaking. He even banged his head on the door. I don't know how to deal with this one. No. That's how I called Daddy initially. I don't know what's going on. Okay, this guy is just shaking like maniac. So Daddy began to. He asked what happened. I said, I just singing in tongues. Okay, let me hear. So he started speaking in tongues to his son. Then he started interpreting. I was like, so you so just like that.
Wow.
So now the whole youth choir became Elemi, which we were very, very shocked. And it was a problem though, because whenever we have service, it was the connection that we had was so strong that everybody would just go and speak at the same time.
Wow.
At the same time, it was very, very weird. At the same time.
So to control is even difficult.
It was very, very difficult because all of a sudden you have like 25 people. Everybody's in spirit. Now the youth pastor, Pastor Barogo, will come out from the altar. He will say, who know what to do? Who are you holding? Out of 25, 30 people.
Wow. Wonderful.
And it was a thing that those things, for some of the youth that time, it drew them closer to God. Because things like that we used to think is only for adults.
Okay.
That's why I used to think it's only old people that can go in spirit, or only if you're Nigerian. When you're young, you just have so many different mentalities.
That's right.
And it was the thing that you liked it because there were times that we'll be at home and we all phone each other and say, okay, I heard something telling me this, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, I think it's the Spirit of God, the angels of God talking. And eventually we had mentors at church, prophets, and I will go back to them and say, okay, look,
this is what
it is. I think we're speaking to angels. So at first it was a bit awkward because they were like, then obviously they got to realization, okay, this is making sense. So they kind of guided us. So, and it was the thing, like I said, from that time, okay, the prophetic came in, but I never paid full attention to it
it.
because I've never liked it. I'll be honest with you. Even up
You
to
asked for it.
I asked for the higher. I didn't ask for the shaking and everything else involved. And eventually, when it kicked in, I just because the actual manifestation of the gift, from when I got the tongues, everything else didn't come until years after. Because
The
when we
gradual
were,
processing.
is the pro exactly. When we were 20, there's a program that we do in the UK. It's called the Youth Revival. It was 5 of us that God called to start it. Myself, Seun Mustafa, Omololu Fagbore, Emmanuel Fagbore, and David Ayeniwon. We had a youth camp week that time, and all of a sudden on the Friday, we woke up at between 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and we were just doing good morning Jesus, good morning Lord. Everybody in the camp, I was about 50 of us that time, of youth from different churches, and all of a sudden we turned into area. We were playing. That's how my cousin David went into spirit, and he said, "This is what the Lord of hosts is saying, that you 5 are going to be holding this revival 3 times a year, specific times.
Wow.
Bank holiday, Easter Monday, bank holiday last month in August, and December." And that's how the journey started. And that's where I can say that the calling started. Because to an extent, we really didn't know what we were doing that much. We just used to see what our elders were doing, so we'll copy what they were doing. You know, it's just like a child just copying his parents. So I shall man rough a child, whatever you see, we shall do it. We used to do Isoji for hours. We'll play. You shake it, you still play. Okay. And that was one of the things that kind of like it helped my line a bit to an extent. But because out of all of us, I was the only one that I wasn't shaking at that time. I wasn't interpreting. I wasn't seeing vision. And I was like, I just used to look like this. And I used to feel so down at times. But at one point, I said, okay, oh boy, me, I don't care, Joe. Let me just be playing my instrument and be making my money. Because I used to play regularly and I used to make good money out of it. And I used to enjoy what I was doing. But also, I've always loved doing church because it's in me is a passion that I have. And the youth revival helped to build because it's like we were the leaders. Because there's never been a history of it in the life of the CNS worldwide. Outside
So
Nigeria,
like
even
Nigeria.
God used us to lay the foundation. And it was the first in history to start in the IONE sector. And it's a thing that because we were all friends, so we thought, you know what, let's just forget whether we are IONE or no IONE. Let's just come together as friends and let's just worship. You know?
So you throw it out to the other.
Yeah. So we started involving other youth from other churches. People that didn't know each other began to integrate each other. Over the years, people that met at the youth revival, they married each other, you know, and different things came from them. But now going back to my calling as well, it's good to know where God has placed you.
That's right.
And that's one of the problems that ministers of God have. Because you have a gift doesn't mean that's your calling.
That's right.
Because like I said, I honestly thought that my line is, let me stick to music. Let me stick to music. Yes, music is till I die.com. Not knowing God was just preparing me
for the future.
that those musical aspects is something that will help the prophetic journey that God will put me in. While I was at New Covenant, I was like the choir coordinator in the youth for years, and God gave me the opportunity to train a lot of the youth that were clueless about music, about church hymns. They didn't have a clue because they literally just came from Sunday school all they knew was Ejeka Finodudu. So for weeks in church, we would have to repeat the same songs, and they were just kids. They were 11, 12 that they just joined the youth, and at that time I was like 17, 18. So I thought, okay, what did these kids know? They don't know anything. So eventually we used to have Saturday practices. So we began to teach them hymns, teach them songs, how to play instruments, how to lead songs.
So you are able to impact their life. What you have gained from those uncles, now you are passing it on.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's why I said that there are so many people that had a positive impact in my life that I can never forget. And not knowing that while I was teaching those kids, I was actually even equipping myself.
Of course.
Because there are so many skills that I didn't know. I never taught anybody. It's there that I started. I never managed the choir before. It's there. Even when we're doing the choir night concerts, when my uncle Dele left, all of a sudden I was the person that began to do all the intros, arrangements, and everything. And I was like, I don't know how to do this stuff. All of a sudden I knew how to do it. All of a sudden it was literally, and I was like, God, I thank you. I thank you because everything, like we said earlier, everything has a procedure.
Oh, yes.
And I didn't know at that point in time that I was going through procedures that would be helpful to me later on in life. And I thank God because all of the youth that I taught, by the grace of God, I'm so grateful that I can boldly stand out and say that I'm proud of them.
Hallelujah.
I've had 2 of them that have got professional music deals from music industry known worldwide. I've had kids that they were terrible singers and now they're the ones that are running the show in the church. Stuff like that makes you feel paid.
That's right.
God, I was not a useless person.
That's what you have planned and you can see growing.
Exactly. And one thing that they're doing as well is what they've been told, they're implementing to the younger generation. So it's like a cycle going. And I'm just very grateful to God. And even in that time, there's the person that I'll say I love the most in my ministry. We still spoke yesterday. We call him Baba. He's a choir master, a New Covenant. I remember those days at church. We used to be so angry because you say, do it this way. No, you have to play this way. This is how they sing it. This is what the song means. You have to learn the hymns. And we're like, this Baba is just disturbing our life.
Because you are too comfortable in your own zone.
And when you're youth at times, there's so much energy in your system.
That's right.
But I just want to thank God that I came across him because a lot of things that I know regarding how to play hymns came from him. The specific song, there's a certain way you play them.
That's right.
And one day it sat me down like, look at the words of this song. This is how you know to play to this song. Not everything is
That's right. When look at the word.
Exactly. And all of that didn't come into realization until I was actually coordinating the youth choir. All of a sudden that thing just came. And I knew, okay, this is how you do it. Not knowing it was because of what he deposited in us that time. At times we can be playing one thing, and we say, stop. But you play, okay,
unfortunately, you didn't bring any of your instruments. I will ask you to play one for our viewers to see.
I have a couple of videos of myself on YouTube or Facebook.
Okay. Have you ever done any album or singles?
Yes, I released a single in 2015.
Okay.
It's called The Great Work. It's on all social media. It's on YouTube, it's on iTunes, it's on Spotify. So you just type in Emmanuel Somuyiwa, it will come up. I did that in 2015, and I don't know, it took me like a week to do.
Okay, how did you receive the inspiration, or what led you to do that?
I was just sitting down.
Okay.
And it just came to me, I should do this song. So I text my younger brother, Alex, I have this. how can we do it? And I didn't have my computer with me that time. So that's how I drove to his house from Dagenham to Basildon. We laid down the track that day. And eventually, a couple of weeks after, we recorded the drums. And I took it over to my friend to master and mix. And
That's it.
I released it. And since that time, I didn't do nothing much until this year. Hopefully, something will come out, definitely.
Amen.
And because it's the thing that I've never counted myself as a singer because I'm not a singer, because I hate singing. But it's the thing that I like to be very independent. So it was like, you know what? I'll sing this track for myself. I'll do the lead for myself. I can get my sisters to do the backing for me, but I'll do the lead myself.
Okay, can you sing the song for us?
There's no keyboard leader.
Oh, it doesn't
It's
matter.
It's one of the hymns. Is Ọjọ́ ńlá lọ́jọ́ náà tí Jésù wẹ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ mi nù. If you want to listen to the real version of it, like I said, go to my YouTube page, E-Drums on YouTube, on social media, iTunes, Spotify, type in Emmanuel Somuyiwa. And that was the first track that I actually spoke in tongues.
Okay.
So when people heard the track, they didn't know who it was. I had one of my mothers, Dunio Logo, because a couple of years ago, I used to teach her as well. So she heard the track. She's like, Talon Fire, and more like it. I say, oh, logo, and I say, no, Emmanuel, I was just because you. I say, it's me. You. I say, it's me. You. I say, it's me. What's the problem now? So you can do this, and you act like this as if you don't know anything. Okay,
Just come.
You just come here. I just said, okay, mama, I don't know. Even what I was saying that time, I didn't know.
Hallelujah.
You know, and is the thing, like I said, all of this thing, I'm very grateful, it came from all of my mentors, but especially my choir master, Baba Ni Adebayo from New Covenant, which I owe so much to. Then the prophetic kicked in 2013.
Okay.
We were just doing normal service in church, and they went in spirit, as usual, just really. I mean, when it comes to this, I mean stuff, okay, what's your problem? You guys come ready. So that time they called Seun out, Seun Mustafa, Mr. Logo. They said you should kneel down. That God said that they should anoint him as a prophet that day. I mean, as I laughing, God don't catch you today. God don't catch you.
You don't know yours is coming.
I didn't know. Then the next 5 minutes later, when they finished praying, they called me as well. And in my head, I was like, what do these people want now? What do you want? You always have something to say. So they said, kneel down. I said, okay, what did I do now? Now they let me say, okay, to the pastor, okay, this is another one of the prophets that you should anoint him. And the first thing, I looked on the altar, and God is my witness. Okay, Jesus Christ, what the hell is this?
Wow.
What the hell is actually this? So they poured the oil on my head that day. And I went back to sit on the drums, and you know when you have, I didn't know how to feel, because I didn't understand what was going on. Because obviously there are procedures before you are anointed, but there are some circumstances that things like that happen. But that night, Pastor called and he was like, look, we don't expect anything from you. Just be normal. Be normal. And not knowing that everything was in the plan of God. Because when we were building the church that time, all of a sudden I would see myself that I'm just reading books on the prophetic for no reason. I didn't understand. I would just be reading book on prophetic, listening to teachings on prophetic. And one time I came to realization that the prophetic aspect is going up like this, and the music aspect is just staying there. And I called pastor. I said, okay, Ogbeni, what's going on? Can you make sense? So, and it was like, look, don't worry, that God is just trying to have a balance in your system. I just no, it doesn't make sense. This is not balanced at all. I cannot be listening to music or not care about music over this. A mist of it go flow at all. Doesn't flow at all. But eventually, over the years, it kicked in. The gift, the calling began to manifest over the years. And the musical aspect as well began to have an impact with the prophetic aspect.
So everything is not
Everything
getting
exactly.
balanced
And I thought, okay, now I understand where you are going to an extent. And it was the thing that I didn't know at first how to balance it out, not knowing that, because we have this mentality at times in our fold that if you're a prophet, you can only be a prophet. You can't be a prophet in other things.
No.
Not knowing that there are different type of prophets. You know, if you look at Daniel, Daniel wasn't in church. Bible makes us understand that all his prophetic work was done
outside the church.
Outside the church, in the palace. So what does that call Daniel? A governmental prophet. You have face-to-face prophets like Elijah. You know, you have delivered prophets. Depending on where God has called you. You have prophets that are into the music ministry. You know, but you know, may God enlighten us.
Amen.
And I just thank God for the word of God, and I just thank God for being enlightened, because to an extent I used to think that you have to choose between a choir member and a prophet. No, I don't want to be prophet. Let me just do the choir, because this prophetic stuff is not my stuff. Not knowing that both of them work in hand. But another thing that I wanted to put in is that having the prophetic gift, having the prophetic calling, and having the prophetic office, plus having the musical gifting, it brings a lot of attention.
That's right.
Both positive and negative. And it's been able to kind of know where to draw the line. Years ago, when I was born, my parents said that they had a vision that I shouldn't drink alcohol, and they didn't give me a reason why. So I said, until you tell me why, I'll do my own drinking. So I just drank whenever, but I never used to be a church drinker at all, because I've always been driving. So eventually one day I just went to my dad's, and I was just sitting down and I just picked up the Bible, and literally I opened the Bible, and he went specifically to why he said I shouldn't drink. And God said, "Okay, you're Nazarene, blah blah blah, so on and so forth." And I heard it clearly. And he said, "Okay, this is why I say you shouldn't drink." I said, "Benny, so what you learn?" I said, "Okay." And from that day, this was about 8 to 9 years ago. And since that time, I didn't touch it, and I've never had the urge to kind of like go into it. And it goes be obedience. You know, there are times that you get pulled into too many things. Being a prophet, being a musician, you get different distractions. You have women distracting you. You have money distracting you. But
so those are the challenges you are facing now.
Yes.
Okay.
And one of the main issues that I said earlier on that is bringing down ministers of God, both male and female, is either fornication or spending money or doing things that doesn't make sense. Fraud or all such type of things. And one of the things that I want to encourage everybody, male, young and old, ministers of God, even, you know, everybody's a minister, because God has called everybody into something. Yes, the flesh is very strong, but remember that he that lives in you is greater
than the flesh.
You know? And there's one thing, the Bible makes us understand that in John 17:22, it says that everything that is in God is in us. And the Bible also says that be holy as your Father in heaven is holy. And we tend to think that, it's not possible. Look, if it's not possible, God would not have said it. You know, it is possible. So it's just for you as an individual to make an attempt. I've had so many, over the last couple of years, I've had so many different attempts that ladies will come up to you, and you know, they'll be trying to use one swine line to type of like tap it. And at times you're like, the baby fine, no? But then you'll be thinking, do you want to jeopardize everything that you're going to? And do you want to? Because one thing I feel that is that whenever we sin, I just feel like you're hanging Jesus back on the cross, because he's paid the price for you to have salvation, to have freedom. You know, and let's not lie, at times as a human being, as a young person, let's be honest with ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
It's very difficult. Let's not lie to each other. I'll be very realistic. But at times, is you just have to keep hold on yourself and put your mind that, look,
be determined.
Exactly. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. And as a young individual, I encourage everybody. I've been through the challenges of peer pressure, girls doing all different things. Yes, I understand. But it's the thing that if you have people around you that have gone through it, speak to them, seek for guidance. They will tell you how to handle the situation. Trust me, it's possible not to fornicate. It is very, very possible. It is hard because of the life and the world that we're in. Because everything in the world now is about fornicating. And fornicating is the steps that make you go forward in life in the world nowadays. But, as a child of God, that's where we need to stand out and be different. And I pray God will hold all of us.
Amen.
Every challenge, the Bible makes us to understand that God will not put you through a challenge that you cannot handle.
Oh, yeah.
So it might look as if it is too much for you, but remember, you don't know your own journey. God knows your journey. And one thing that you should always rely on God. Do not rely on your own intelligence.
Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless you. Now I want you to pray for our viewers. You've told us about your challenges, the journey of your life. Okay, can I ask you to appreciate those who have ever supported you before we round up because of our time?
Okay. First, I want to appreciate my mom and dad because they're the ones that gave me the opportunity for all of this. They brought me drums when I was young. They put me right through the path of God. I remember when I was small, I always wanted my mom to sew this leader of service clothes for me. So, because she's a tailor, so she would sew it for me. I used to have all these different services at home. I have anniversary and everything. My sister used to draw the candle stand for me on paper, and I would stick it to the wall. I want to appreciate her as well. I want to appreciate my wife, Olaolu Somuyiwa, which is making me into the person that I am today. I want to thank God for the life of Uncle Michael Sejuro. That, like I said, I owe him a lot because he's the person that gave me the opportunity to learn keyboard. Because I used to hate keyboard, I still hate keyboard, but it's the most gigs that I get. I also want to thank God over the life of Delo Gudeko. I want to thank God over the life of Dijiola Yemi from Fountain of Peace. I want to thank God as well over the life of Dayo Ladenyi. He's a big sound engineer. When it comes to the sound aspect of things, I owe everything to him. He's had a big impact in my life, a massive impact. I've known him since I was 15. I knew nothing on sound, and everything that I know today was through him. He hasn't taken a penny from me. He has invested so much in me, and I cannot even repay him. I want to thank God for also Baba Ni Adebayo, New Covenant Choir Master, who will always be my choir master for life, because he's one of the people also that's made me to who I am today. I want to thank God for my mentor, Pastor Mike Amadi, wherever you are, Pastor. I owe you, love you. Always been a mentor in the prophetic aspect and in the journey of my Christian life. Woli Kayode Akinyolu in Nigeria, I want to thank God for your life. I want to thank God for the life of our late father as well, Daddy Fakeye, for implementing a lot of things in me while I was young and while I had the opportunity to speak to him as well. Also, Special Apostle Ayeni Wame's soul rest in peace. Our Daddy Famurio, sorry, my list is so long. I have so many people that I need to thank God for. I want to thank God also for the life of our pastor as well, Baya Dedeji. And I just want to thank God for everybody. God bless you all, and thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for that great influence you have added to Prophet Emmanuel Somuyiwa's life, for being part of his success today. He's saying a big thank you to you, and it shall be well with you in the mighty name of Jesus. Till next week that we meet again, and remain loyal to you, Seun Akinshoun. God bless you.
ìwọ ni màá pè ó. Owó bá dé, ìwọ ni màá pè ó.
Jerusalem, Jerusalem, land of glory, Jerusalem, holy land, and a visit to Jerusalem.
These are the things that have been written, and we are bearing witness to them as being true. This is an opportunity for you to visit Israel, Mount Nebo in Jordan, the ground where God spoke to Moses, showing him the promised land and the holy land of Jerusalem. 10 days visit to see for yourself the places which you have read in the Bible, like Elah Valley, where David defeated Goliath, Mount Nebo, Sea of Galilee, Canaan, where Jesus turned water to wine, River Jordan, where John the Baptist baptized Jesus Christ, Joseph and Maria House in Nazareth, Jericho, the Dead Sea, the Garden of Gethsemane, where Jesus prayed, Lazarus' tomb, King David tomb in Jerusalem, the house where Jesus and his disciples had their Last Supper, the Pentecost Upper Room, and so on. Our office is at Albert Basins, South Dockland, London, E16 7QY. For more info, please visit www.holytrinitypilgrimage.co.uk or please call Captain Mother Hassan on 078 721 37953 or Pastor Elijah Kamui on 079 846 34898 or email us info@holytrinitypilgrimage.co.uk. A pilgrim is not a tourist. The tourist sees sights and returns home the same person, but the pilgrim gains insights and returns home changed and spiritually fulfilled.
Jerusalem.
Happy Gems Daycare is an Ofsted registered childcare provider in Erith, Slade Green and London area, with several years of experience in childcare services. We are open 7 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Monday to Friday. We offer free 15 to 30 hours government funding for 2, 3 and 4-year-olds. All our staff are highly qualified, first aid trained with child protection awareness. We offer pick-up from home and drop-off back home, and we are flexible to meet parents' needs. Just a quick call on 013 226 352 68 or 078 077 29720 or email info@happygemschildcare.co.uk or visit our website www.happygemschildcare.co.uk.
Níbi àríyá tàbí lóde ayẹyẹ gbogbo nílé afẹ́ ò tàbí níbikíbi. Bóyá 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 ò kẹ́gbọ́n mi. Sweet heart fruit ń gbẹ́lẹ̀ yìí dé o, ó táwọn yọ.
Wow! Here is a good information for everybody. Have the rich taste of fruit in different form at your parties, event, church program, or social engagement like wedding, birthday, conference in your house, and lots more. Fruit cocktails, fruit arrangement, fruit palm tree, smoothie, fruit basket decoration, fruit kebab, and lots more at Sweet Heart Fruit Company. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ní gbogbo ibi tí a bá ti ń ṣe àríyá, ìgbéyàwó, ọjọ́ ìbí, àjọ̀dún ilé ìjọsìn, níbi afẹ́ tàbí ibi ìgbádùn àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ, ẹ kàn sí Sweet Heart Fruit ní èyíkéyìí ohun tí ẹ bá fẹ́ kí wọ́n fi fruit dálára fún yín bíi fruit cocktail, fruit arrangement, fruit palm tree, smoothie, fruit basket decoration àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Níbikíbi tí ẹ bá wà, ẹ lè kàn sí wa lórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ yìí 079-442-78530 or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and all social media platforms at Sweet Heart Fruit. Seun Akinshoun is the CEO of Sweet Heart Fruit. Patronize us at Sweet Heart Fruit today. You will be glad you business with us.
Heritage TV. Heritage TV.
Everybody in London, have you heard that Heritage Television has come up with something new? All your functions and celebrations can now be multi-camera live stream that was only reserved for the rich and famous. Having a function in London can be viewed clean and clear immediately from any part of the world. Trust Heritage TV to give you a better reach. Heritage Television also does photography that will make you the envy of all your friends and family. Heritage Television is the best. All your functions like birthdays, funerals, weddings, church anniversaries or harvest. Heritage Television is the master. We are in the heart of London with an ultra-modern equipped studio. You can call us on 020-800-46100 or email us info@heritagetv.co.uk or mobile 0734 1234 560. Heritage Television will do you proud.
Jerusalem, Jerusalem, land of glory, Jerusalem, holy land, and a visit to Jerusalem.
ní àwọn tó ti wà ní àkọsílẹ̀ tí a sì ń jẹ́rìí rẹ̀ wípé òdodo ni àǹfààní ńlá ló ṣí sílẹ̀ fún ọ láti wọ̀lú Ísírẹ́lì ìrìn àjò ọlọ́jọ́ mẹ́wàá sí ìlú mímọ́ ní Jerusalem. Ìwọ náà rí fúnra rẹ̀ àwọn ibi tó ti kà nínú Bíbélì orí òkè Nebo ní àdójúkọ Jericho níbi tí Ọlọ́run ti fi gbogbo ilẹ̀ lérí hàn Mósè. Deuteronomy chapter 34 verse 1 to 12 àfonífojì Élà níbi tí Dáfídì ti ṣẹ́gun Gòláyátì. 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 1 to 5 òkun Gálílì níbi tí Jésù ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́. Luke chapter 4 verse 14 to 15 Kánà àti Galilee níbi tí Jésù ti ṣiṣẹ́ ìyanu àkọ́kọ́ ó somi di wáìnì. Jòhánù orí kejì ẹsẹ̀ kìíní sí kẹwàá odò Jọ́dánì níbi tí Jòhánù onítẹ̀bọmi ti baptisi Jésù. Matthew chapter 3 verse 13 ilé tí Jósẹ́fù àti Màríà ìyá Jésù gbé ní Násárẹ́tì. Matthew chapter 2 verse 23 ìlú Jericho. Joshua chapter 6 verse 1 to 2 Òkun Pupa. Exodus chapter 14 verse 22 ọgbà Gẹ́stímánì níbi tí Jésù ti ń gbàdúrà. Matthew chapter 26 verse 36 sàárè Lásárù ibojì ọba Dáfídì ní Jerúsálẹ́mù. Ilé tí Jésù àtàwọn ọmọ ẹ̀yìn ti jó ń jalè Olúwa. Mark chapter 14 verse 15 to 18 yàrá òkè níbi táwọn ọmọ ẹ̀yìn ti gbẹ̀mí mímọ́. Iṣẹ́ Àpọ́stélì chapter 2 verse 1 to 5 àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Olùléṣẹ́ wa wà ní Alba Basin South Dockland London E16 7QY. Fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ ẹ kàn sí wa lórí ẹ̀rọ alátagbà wa www.holytrinitypilgrimage.co.uk tàbí kẹ́gbẹ́ Captain Mother Athen sórí nọ́mbà yìí 078-721-37953 tàbí Pastor Elijah Kumuyi sórí nọ́mbà yìí 079-846-34898 tàbí kẹ́kàn sí wa lórí email address wa info@holytrinitypilgrimage.co.uk. ìrìnàjò sílẹ̀ mímọ́ kìí ṣe ìrìnàjò lásán ṣùgbọ́n ká lọ kábọ̀ ká dẹni ọ̀tun. ìrìnàjò sí Jerusalem tọdún yìí.
Jerusalem.